I need you to join on the LinkedIn side, LinkedIn or Facebook Live side. Hello, everybody. This is Michelle Gardner-Ince. I hope you can hear me. Um, I am doing an experiment, and I am going live. I believe I'm live on Facebook. If you can see me, please send me a text or a I am that you can see me live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and hopefully LinkedIn Live. I'm going live also on LinkedIn Audio, so you have a choice about where you would like to join Facebook Live, LinkedIn Audio. Um, Good evening, everyone. This is Michelle Gardner-Ince. I'm testing some new capabilities. I was supposed to connect with uh, Dr. Davis, and he was supposed to help me set some stuff up, but I Jimmy rigged it, so hopefully this is going to go well. I expect that it will. Can you hear me on the LinkedIn audio side? If you can, put your thumbs up. I'm also on LinkedIn live where you can see me. I didn't plan, so y'all don't judge me on the hair. It's probably not as together as it normally is. And I'm not taking any guests. There's a panel. You just need to give a thumbs up or a that you can hear me, and so I'll be multitasking. But I'm waiting for my panel today to join us. We're going to have an amazing panel. We've got Dr. Travis Davis, who is a regular. We've got uh, um, Coach Sean Austin, who is also a regular. I don't know if they're going to be joining on the studio side or whether they're going to just join via audio. Many times they're running pretty fast. Then we've got also Shenell, who is a former SBA advisor. And then we also have Linda Gray, who is a SCORE mentor. So we're expecting to have a tremendous time today. I'm glad that you can hear me. Can somebody tell me, do you hear me on the LinkedIn audio live side? I'm just going to Facebook and LinkedIn. You do? Okay. LinkedIn Live. All right. So welcome again. We're going to be talking about who's got your money. Really, this is a conversation about, I'll go through the kind of the obligatory administrative remarks. Um, my name is Michelle Gardner-Ince. I am a retired Air Force colonel. I have never been without a military ID card. I was in the military since first breath. My father was an Army colonel, retired, rest his soul. He spent 27 years in the Army as well. And he was one of the first Black Army Corps of Engineer officers. And then my mother was and is a great community leader. She was runner-up to Army Wife of the Year and U.S. Army Europe Wife of the Year in 1973. So our entire family is a family of service. My brother spent time in the Air Force and then went on to continue his service to this country as the CIO of FEMA, where he retired a couple of years ago. So I tell you all that to say that, service and excellence is really all that I know. And I will continue to serve this great community. That's where my passion for, serving veterans and military families, because That's all I have done my entire military career is entrepreneurship, or entrepreneurship probably would be the term. Um, and so, that's everything from department stores to hotels, um, restaurants, clubs, marinas, horse stables, even have had a bakery and a water plant and logistics center. But all of that had to generate revenue. And so my mindset has always been service, value, and revenue, or driving profits. And so when I came out of the military and was in business for myself, even with all of that great experience, I failed at being a small business. I was subbing to two veteran owned companies, and I don't believe that I did that very well. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that you can hear me on LinkedIn live as well. And thank you for joining on both sides, Darby. I'm not sure if my let me check on my panel, because they may be confused about which one to join. Were y'all confused about which one to join? Anybody? Um, um, I'm gonna just tell them, are you joining? But anyway, I do want to let you know I do work for the Department of Veteran Affairs. Every 24/7, really, because I live, breathe women, veteran entrepreneurship. But everything that we may talk about here is my own opinion. It is not representative of the VA. And so I do want to say, if you have a question, please hold it until our panel is over. I'm going to check on these folks. I don't know where they are. They said, "Oh, I'm excited. I'm ready to come." I'm like, "Are you joining?" So maybe they are. I don't see. Hey, Linda, raise your hand and come to the stage, please. I see you. I'm waiting for Shenell. There we go. Okay. Um, Let me see where Shenell, Travis are. And I didn't know if you want to join on the audio side. I'm on the audio and the video side. So with that, Miss Linda, thank you for joining us. I do want to kind of get to our topic for today, which is having the continued conversation around this buzz, the new focus. This is a generational opportunity for small businesses to seize one of the best customers, or to serve one of the best customers and seize an opportunity that may not come around for a very long time. President Biden, with his executive order 13985, signed in 2021, basically said, hey, we federal government need to focus and figure out, why are we spending more money on small businesses, but they were spending money with the same businesses. So he wants to increase the vendor base. So when you hear that, that's what that means: increase the number of vendors or businesses that are eligible to sell to the government. And then the next thing is, how do we remove the barriers and burdens? And what I love about this whole executive order is, one, it then challenged the federal agencies to come out with action plans and reports. Not only what have they done, but what are they going to do? And then he came back. That was in September, August of this year. And then recently, on October 4th, he released President Biden released a policy through OMB, basically saying, look, federal agencies, I want to ask you to step up your game in providing opportunities to women, veteran, minority, LGBTQ, and disabled. And so, hey, thanks for joining. So I see you on the live side, Shenell. Thanks for joining. Let's see if we can get you up here on the screen. So Yeah, let's see if we can get you up here. So we got Linda and I on the audio side, and we've got I saw Coach Sean pop in as well. He may do both, but basically on October 4th, he mandated that the agencies raise their goals to 12% in the year 2020, 2023, and then raise it to 15% in the year 2025. And so with that, you're going to see huge efforts to get to you. Having said that, where is the money? And so I wanted to have a conversation. I'll let Linda introduce herself. And then, so if you'll unmute Linda, and then Shenell, let's try Shenell first, because I want to make sure we can hear her on that side. Go ahead. Shenell, are you speaking? Because I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know why. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Shenell? But I can't seem to hear you. Hold on a minute. Let me see here. There you go. I needed to add you to the, but your signal is your signal's
Can you hear me now?
So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna mute
you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Oh, perfect. I think somebody has shared some links with other people, and they keep trying to come in the studio. And I'm like, no, you can't come in the studio. It's only for the panel. So go ahead, Coach. We got Coach Sean Austin, and for those of you who are on LinkedIn Live, you'll be able to see. Can you hear? Okay. I think it was delayed. Can you hear me now? LinkedIn says they can. Yes, you can now. Okay, go ahead, Coach Sean, and then Shenell, can you speak? Just want to make sure I can hear you as well.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I do. Perfect. So go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Awesome. Hey, G.I., good to see you today.
Likewise.
Likewise. Yeah, I had to restart my computer to get back on here.
No worries.
Yeah. But Coach Sean Austin here, guys, for you who do not know me or who know me already from our wonderful Wednesday afternoon evenings. Good to see everybody. Good to hear you. And if I can't see you virtually, hey, how's it going? I run a business strategy firm here in the Houston area, but we service clients now globally. We just locked up another small business development center contract today. As a matter of fact, yeah. So, and they actually want me to entertain the option of being the new executive economic development director for the city near Prairie View in that Waller County area, which is massively big. And it's a testament, though, that you stay on course with the minority players, and that's when you'll start to see a lot of things moving in those spaces. So we can touch HBCUs, and we can touch the cities adjacent to it, and procurement is such a thing. So I love how this is growing. So a testament to God and a testament to just fortitude. But if a country boy from Louisiana can get this thing done, and we can do it together, and we need each other even more than ever. So that's my introduction. You can definitely check my bio out for things of that nature. But I like being a business strategist because the game plans we have, especially in this down market, is a perfect time to grow your business because there's such a need out there for a lot of us to answer, and there's problems to solve, and that's what we're here for. So, G, I appreciate you having me here today, for sure.
Well, welcome. So we got Coach Sean, the business coach. We got um, Linda Gray, the mentor, and now we got Shenell, the advisor. So if you would mute for a minute, Coach, unless you're going to jump in. Um, you're good. All right then. Hey, Shenell, if you'll unmute and introduce yourself and tell us who you are. And Coach, would you check on Dr. Davis for me, please? I've sent a couple of texts. I want to get going here.
Hello, everyone. Chanel Glover. Thank you, GI, for inviting me back. And I'm happy to share all my experiences with everyone and my insights. My background is in federal government contracting. I spent the last 15 years either working with the federal government directly or indirectly in procurement, policy, financial management, compliance. So I've been all over the place. But in the last 5 years, I've been working with companies to help them to do business with the government and business development, capture management, and just overall strategy and how to do business with the government or how to grow your business within government contracting. Um, I've worked at several agencies. I was a federal employee in the past at the SBA. So if you have any SBA questions, if I can't ask them, then I can also put you in touch with or in the right direction to get those questions answered. And I'm happy to talk about the new mandates and equity in government contracting.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Shenell. We got Dr. Davis is going to be joining us here. Man, I see his signals coming up. And Miss Linda, if you want to join us on the live side, please feel free to do that. I sent you the link directly. Please don't share that link. I noticed some people are joining because they've had that link, but the live link is only for the panel members only. All right, go ahead, Dr. D.
Hey, how you doing, G.I.? Sorry, in the midst of moving around, got some things going on.
No worries, no worries.
But yeah, I always enjoy these conversations that's going on. Happy to be here yet another week. Dr. Travis Davis from the DMV area, been in government contracting for 11 years now. Did the first $1 million at the age of 25 with the Obamacare Affordable Care Act with the triage help desk. Now we've been able to spread out into selling products. We did $250,000 with iPads, iPhones to Prince George's County government. That's the local side. We just won a large contract for air hygienist, not air hygienist, industrial hygienist. We do air quality control for the Pentagon and Fort Belvoir, as well as we do call centers for CMS and HHS. So about myself, but really about spreading this information and letting our community understand how to implement these rules and regulations that I didn't create this system. The system was created for us to take advantage of
Absolutely.
minority spending and other strategic approaches that we don't have to go in competition with big boys. Actually, we could partner with these guys. So there's so many ways to do this thing called government contracting, but it's a space that has the opportunity for any and everyone to not just do it, but to actually become extremely successful in it, generate wealth for their family,
Absolutely.
and change communities. And I parked my Tesla, GI.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Honored to have you. I know you guys are busy, making that money, and that celebration and congratulations to all. This space is, about not only connecting. So if you are not connected to the people above you, below you, beneath you, please do that. If it's an opportunity to collaborate, it's an opportunity to celebrate, and then it's an opportunity to be coached or to gain knowledge, not only from those of us on the panel, but also from each other. So I want to ask you, how many of you have connected with at least 5 people in the audience on the LinkedIn audio side? Put thumbs up if you've connected at least with 4 or 5 people. I want to ask you to invite 3 or more people to come. And so, we really go around the model of coaching, collaborating, connecting, and celebrating. So with that, I want to ask you this new executive order and this new opportunity. You hear all this information about, trillions of dollars in infrastructure. Every agency's leaning forward has produced these 90 plus plans of how they're going to do it. But what does it mean? How do these businesses, these new businesses who may be quite seasoned in doing business, not with the government, what would be one tip each of you would give them from your various perspectives? And with that, I'm going to start with Miss Linda, who's on there with me on LinkedIn audio. Go ahead, Miss Linda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it is so important for us to be sure that we understand and have access to the information from the executive order 13985 right now. Also, it's important if you are not registered in System Awards Management, SAM.gov, that's important and imperative that you get registered if you're not. If you're already registered, it's so important for you to go into your SAM NASC codes. That's NAISCS.
NAICS codes, NASC codes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, NAICS code.
However, hey, you from Texas, girl. Say it like you said. It's all good.
Yeah, between Texas and Louisiana. Some people think I have that slur, but nevertheless, it's so important to review those NAICS codes in order, because there are more opportunities in service industry codes that our businesses can apply for and through to get access. And then one important thing is so important for us, and particularly, let's just say, nonprofit organizations. It's important for nonprofit organizations to collaborate with for-profit businesses.
And how so? How so? And once you tell us how so, then we're going to come back to that and maybe expand on that, especially if somebody has a question and wants to reach out to you. But how can small businesses collaborate, or nonprofits collaborate with big businesses? Then I want to move on to Coach Sean. Someone asked, can you type the info in the chat about how to connect? But we'll do that afterwards. Go ahead. I'm typing. I'm responding to the chat. Somebody's asking about Executive Order 13985. Go ahead. How do nonprofits and big business? I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's fine, because this is going to be over and over again, and the many opportunities. Number one, whatever your business is, whatever products or services that your business provides, because your business provides either services or products. Mm-hmm. So take a look and be mindful of the nonprofit organizations that are in your area, geographical area, even across really the United States of America, and determine if your business services can support the nonprofit organization's mission and goals, and establish a memorandum of agreement and understanding. So the first is to determine what services and what products your business, your for-profit business provides. And then take a look at your nonprofit organizations to see how your products and services could be funded
by them,
by the nonprofit organization.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. We're gonna have to do a session just on because a lot of, I meet a lot of veterans, a lot of minorities, a lot of women who want to give back in the form of a nonprofit, but funding is always a challenge. And I love the concept of connecting with a large business and doing a memorandum of agreement and coming up with some achievable goals that will allow them, you basically, to be the social responsibility arm for that large business. What amazing concept. Do you see why it's so important to have the diversity of thought on this one issue? Because that's something I wouldn't have even thought of. Thank you so much, Ms. Linda. We're gonna pitch over to Coach Sean. Thank you. What's your one thing that you would tell any business, but especially those just starting out? What should they do, right? To get started, to be competitive for a piece of this pie.
I'm a big fan of procurement for sure. To me, procurement is the gateway to contracting. It's, for me, one of the easiest routes. One, because, and I'll give Houston, for example. I'm a Louisiana native myself, but I'm in Houston. In Houston, procurement, the Greater Houston Procurement Forum is it's the last Tuesday of the month. And you get on their email list, the emails are coming out now. I think we got the email now for this month, and they'll tell you who's there: Port of Houston, NASA, HISD, Section 3 of affordable housing, all these different programs, large departments, very large companies. And when NASA comes in, that's everybody. So you'll see where business is happening. You may not ever see a list of RFIs, RFQs, all these different things that you may look for in SAM, but you get a chance to talk to the juggernaut companies, everyday people. You get a chance to talk to their program directors, Texas A&M, UT, U of H, all these guys are there. And the economic push is, here's the projects we're running. What are you capable of doing? And they verbally say where we have a hub or MBE criteria threshold to meet. 20, 30% even, way higher than what we see on whitehouse.gov. And they're looking in the room, hey, we want to talk to you, women-owned, veteran-owned, et cetera, et cetera. Let's have a conversation. And when you present yourself with that said capability statement, and you can have a dialogue and create your own lunch and learn with them, you're developing a relationship that turns into ultimately contracting opportunities to work with these guys in the area that you're capable, in the area that you're working in now, that you and your team can accomplish. For me, that's the easiest route, because it's like A to Z. You sit in a room and you listen.
Right.
That's the start for me. If anyone wants to start out, you're a professional already, great place to start.
That's great. And I know that applies to a lot of folks. Somebody asked, and I'm going to kind of tag on to what you just said and answer a question that somebody said to me. They asked, what are the NAICS codes that give the most opportunities? Thank you, Brenda. And that is almost across the board, right? For all of the agencies, it's IT, it's construction, it's logistics, right? Professional services is huge. That's huge. That's everything from consulting to Help me out here, Dr. D or anybody. It's jump
I mean,
in.
I would say
Go
all of
ahead.
the above, because when I went,
Yeah.
that question was, I asked that question for my clients 2 months ago just to see what they would say. And Miss Karen, I forgot Miss Karen's last name, but she's over the Houston Affordable Housing Program, $400 million budget just with that department. And I said to her, because I want my clients to hear, which NAICS codes do you favor? And her question was, and here's how she answered me. She said, "Come see. You see this list right here? All of them." She said all of them, because it's just because it says IT or construction, like you said, or professional services, they still need everything to have these projects accomplished. So when you
That's right.
understand the depth of how far these things go, from painting street signs to fleet car washes, and they even have a professional services. If you're an event planner, they had a golf tournament around the construction project because it was so big that they paid somebody's event planning business to set up the golf tournament. So
Wow.
it just it goes. So getting in the room and listening for what's happening is where you can definitely get that answer, because you may do this, but you may just lean just a little bit over here and expand your capability statement for a few other NAICS codes. Just get one. Just one in the door is what I would say is the one that gives the most opportunity. The one that you can do best, that gets you just in the door. And then once you're in the door, they're like, what else can you do? Can you do that?
Right,
And you
right,
hear
right,
other
right, right,
things.
right,
So
right,
yeah,
right.
that's my answer, because that's why I get excited
I
about
love that. I absolutely love that. I tell small businesses, turn the funnel upside down. Everybody wants to do this and then sift through, and then if you turn it upside down, you enter in through the very small piece, very narrowly focused on 1, 2, or 3 NAICS codes with one agency. Because when you do that, you can begin to build relationships, and you focus all your engagements, all of that on there. And then once you get in and you get that one opportunity, then the funnel spreads out like that. So the funnel is upside down. It's go in narrow. Like you said, Coach, I'm just doing kind of a visual of it. Go in narrow. And then when you get in, boom, spread out and start doing more things. What do you have to say, Shenell? You want to add to that? I see you smiling.
Yes.
Plus, give us another tip.
Yeah. Well, another tip is to network, and which equates to like partnering. Make sure you network and partner, because I know everyone goes after the certifications, but even after you have the certification, you'll need to network, because there may be another company, large or small, that you can partner with that already has an existing relationship or work that they can share.
Uh-huh.
To piggyback off the next code conversation, there are certain codes that are almost like a default. So you want to make sure you have the management consulting codes and the other administrative services, or whatever the other is in your category. And the reason being, sometimes the agencies, they don't they haven't determined like where they want to put certain work, and they'll stick it in other or under management consulting. Yeah. And I had a customer one time, and the agency changed the code to other, and it was a
Uh-huh.
$50 million opportunity, and my customer didn't change the code as I recommended, and they lost out just because the agency decided to just stick the code in the other category. So you want to make sure you know the codes that are pretty much like default, but also whatever is labeled as other that's related to your work. And then I'd say, when reaching out to agencies, make sure you're prepared. um, Try to learn something about the customer and make your conversation, relatable for them. If you're going to go in and talk about specific use cases or services, make sure you're talking about how your customer can use that service, because at the end, their goal is to get companies in that can address their needs. So just make sure you're not only talking about your product or service, but what can it do for that customer.
I'm glad you said something about that. So I want to come back to the networking and the engagement, right? And how do we do that? But first, hey, Coach, can you comment in the chat? Are you able to add some of those NAICS codes? Somebody asked. I was trying. I don't know if you can you see the chat?
I see the chat. I don't see where I can type in the chat. That's the only
I thought
thing.
it's at the bottom. So I was
Let me
gonna
see.
say, uh, uh,
The
I
last
think
thing I
that
see is like Miss Brenda's comment, but I don't see where I can type in. I can
type
type
in.
in the private chat, but I can't type in the
Can't type
comment.
in. It doesn't allow you. Okay, I'll figure that out.
I just put them in the private chat. You can maybe push them over.
Okay, okay, and if you put them in
Oh,
the
I see
private
it.
chat,
Here it is. Here
you
it is.
see it.
Yeah, I see
And
it.
if you can share that, that'd be great.
Okay,
Hey,
great.
Dr. D, are you able to tell one thing that that a small business just starting out they may be starting out in GovCon, but not necessarily starting out in their business. And really, I want to say that's really who the government is looking for, is people who already have past performance in the commercial, the local, the state, even with educational institutions, who have already that maturity, who can come in and get started. It shortens that window of 2 to 3 years. Go ahead, Dr. D.
Yeah, well, I actually go off of what I call my cheating method. I is the best thing that all businesses should do, and what I mean by that, school taught us that we can't look off each other's paper and that we can't phone a friend. But in the business world, that's just not true. What I like to do is to follow the path of successful people. Like, I don't care what industry you're in, chances are somebody's already excelling in the government. And since this is public information, I can go to these sites like fpds.gov or usaspending.gov, and I can do my homework and research first before I even attempt to get in front of somebody so I don't sound stupid. So now I'm looking for the businesses who are excelling, not just the business, but also what is the agency that's spending the money in. So, I heard NAICS codes. To me, every NAICS code spends money. This customer has money for everybody, so it doesn't matter the NAICS code. As well as these percentages of small business, of it's upping for small business. Well, we ain't been getting the money anyways because only 1.67% of the black community is there. So if you raise the percentage,
Wow.
that doesn't change anything.
Wow. Wow.
But if we copy, what I mean by copying is saying, hey, if I compile 20 businesses that have been doing $10 million with the Department of Energy for my professional services, well, I just got 20 winners. I can now go dissect their website, I can go dissect their capability statement, and I get the wording of successful people. A lot of times we approach a decision maker and we don't have their definitions to words. We got our own definitions to words. So
Absolutely.
my cheating method is I look for the winner. The winner is now telling me the definition to, let's say, cybersecurity. So now not only are they telling me the definition to cybersecurity, but they're telling me the definition of the decision maker. So now if I compile those 20 businesses, I create my capability statement, I create my marketing material and my website, I'm going right back to the customer that they've been winning all this money with. And now I'm
Yeah.
approaching them educated because I use
Right.
their words. And
Right.
that would be my best advice for any business getting started in the government. And of course, all that same stuff, but you can go on
Yeah.
the internet and
Yeah.
find it.
So these folks, they are knowledgeable. They have, great skills. They may have already been in business, but this networking and engagement thing, you know, what should they do? I was just at the yesterday at the Association of the U.S. Army, convention, and there was probably 8,000 people there. 3 football fields of large companies looking to give businesses to minority women veterans, and you know, there were some people walking around with a deer in the headlights. Like, what do I do? Where do I go? Wow. And you see these huge tanks that are like, you know, 5 story, 10 stories tall, and all these helicopters and all these massive pieces of sophisticated equipment. And you're a small business wandering around what do you do before and what should you be doing after? Can you start us out, Shenell, and then I'm going to go to Miss Linda.
Yes, you should be prepared. And then something that I noticed is that some companies, especially because I work with a lot of the owners or the executive teams, you need to find out who on your team has like those people skills, because it may not be you, the CEO, and those are the people that's who needs to go, to these events, because you have to talk to people. It's a people business, and you can send emails, you can get all these certifications, but if you don't know how to build relationships and by communicating, and most of the time people are more comfortable, they get more comfortable with you in person. If you send 10 emails to me, for example,
Yes.
when I worked on the other side, and on the federal side, we get lots of emails, calls, but when I meet you in person, and this is just with most people, it's just is a different um tone and just exchanging conversation. So you need to make a good first impression. And if you have someone else on your team, your salesperson, or anyone else who can communicate with people and communicate your product and service, then maybe you need to think about that person going with you attending the events, because being shy and not being able to introduce your product, it can hurt your business. So I recommend not being shy,
Mm-hmm.
um trying to introduce yourself to a certain amount of people, like to make that your goal. If you meet 10 people, at least one or two you'll connect with in the future. So I'd say be prepared. Prepare your elevator pitch, have your documents, your capability statement, and make sure these documents or whatever your pitch is, it isn't too long, because most people, they lose their attention. You'll lose their attention after a certain amount of seconds, probably, if it's not something they're interested in. So you want to make sure you're prepared, and talk to people about things they want to hear, but also you're working with people, so don't just get straight to business. Just be genuine as
Thank
well. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm smiling, saying thank you, not necessarily to cut you off, but I was at a women's conference maybe a couple of months ago, and this particular couple, they're in business together, and that intrigues me when a husband and wife can be in business together. And so I was asking questions about how do you guys work this, who does what, who has what role, how do you balance family? How do you turn off business? I was like all in it. And the whole time I'm talking, she's slowly sliding her capability statement across the table to me. And I put my hand on the paper and I said, "Why are you doing that?" "Well, I wanted to make sure you got my capability statement." I said, "Yeah, but I want to get to know you first. And it's important to know who you're talking to." Right. And the second thing is, let the client lead. I talk in terms to my ladies, lead when it's a dance, let them lead the dance. I'm a person, I don't have any contracts. I don't. So when you're talking to me, you can give me your capability statement all day and I will look at it. But I'm more interested in who is the leader, who is the CEO, what's the story behind this woman veteran, because then it relates to me and then I can go sell that story along with your capability statement. Now that's my technique. I know everybody doesn't roll like that. Some people want to get right to it, boom, 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 and then they're off. But I'd say let the client lead. And then I'll talk later about some strategies. But I think the challenge for our community, the community that is not in the federal government yet, who's minority, woman, veteran, is that social piece is huge because people do business with who they know, like, and trust. And how do you build trust? Trust is built through proximity. And if you don't have the proximity, then somebody got to have it. But anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. And Miss Linda, I want to tell you, unmute. And I want to ask all of you if there's a part of the conversation you want to jump in. Let's just make this more conversational because I really do believe this is a sweet spot that people are lacking in. So jump in, Miss Linda. give your comments, and then we're going to just keep this rolling, and we'll talk about it. It's 7:39. Thank you all for joining. I see you, Nicholas, Leonard, Mr. Bill. Thank you, Jeff. Great to see you, Maureen, Monique, Latasha, Shannon. I want to acknowledge everybody. Sadeku, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Aaliyah, Darren, Kelly, Tanisha. Tanisha, it gets the award for the most attended. Ogo, Victor, Prain, Dwayne, Miss Corliss, Darby, Shannon, and Tungala. So if I misspelled your name, please forgive me. For those of you who are on LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, please put in the chat. Tell us who you are. I want to recognize you. Hey, Trelisa, Nicholas, Brenda. Great seeing you again, Brenda. I remember you from meeting you at the Med conference. Deshaun, Hugh, Cooper, you guys are in here. I'm loving it. So with that, let's talk about this relationship thing. It's really, really important. Miss Linda, chime in, and then we'll go on. And anybody else that wants a piece of the pie, come on with it.
Okay, great, because the relationship is critical. So it's important to establish a mentor or a coach. That's important. But also more important is when there are opportunities to actually apply for contracts or even grants. From thinking. Because there are grants for businesses, for-profit businesses today. And so when these opportunities come, it's important to attend all info sessions, any type of webinars that are available for you to get more information about the expectations and the objectives of the funding opportunity. It's important to establish right there immediately after the webinar or info session to reach out, and they do have a contact name, email address, and then be sure, if you're unable to get your questions answered while you are listening on the webinar, be sure and email the questions that you wanted to ask but was unable to ask. And then let's don't forget about associating and networking. And when I say networking, I don't mean pass out business cards, but let's take a look at meetings from our chambers of commerce, especially community-based chambers of commerce, business associations, business association groups, the Divine Nine.
Yes.
Any type of organizations, associations. And then really important is associating and getting familiar and attend some of your local city events that are available now more than ever due to the Executive Order 13985. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Those are just some of my suggestions.
Awesome. And I see folks on LinkedIn are chiming in, saying where they're from, what they do. Please do that. This is a way to network. You never know. When you put on the atmosphere, there may be somebody who needs the service you're offering or may want to collaborate with you. So, if you are able to, please type in your name will automatically show, but tell, what you do and, or a question. And I know there's somebody said, what was the 3 things you said? Be prepared with the elevator pitch, capability statement, and then what else? I think it was Shenell. They were asking that.
Other than the capability statement, be prepared and take either you or someone on your staff that communicates well and is friendly, because it's
Mm-hmm.
in the end, you can give your capability statement, you can tell me or someone all about your company, but you want to have someone that can also mesh well with the customer. I've been on many contracts, and one of my gifts is when I get in with the customer, our contracts expand because I build a relationship with the customer. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that GI said, you should let the customer lead. So, make sure you're, catering to that customer's needs, because the government customers, they just want you to deliver. They want solutions. So make
Yes,
sure that's what and when you're having a conversation, make sure you're prepared to talk about those things.
absolutely. Anybody else want a piece of that? There's so much there. I don't want to. It's a
That's a
passion
lot.
area of mine.
Can they see my comments in the chat?
They cannot. I tried to. I don't think they can see. It says only privately. I was trying to.
Because I can't
I was.
comment in the comment
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah. I was trying to. I think you have to go out on LinkedIn and do that because we're on
Okay.
LinkedIn Live. So if
Okay,
you
I'll
go
try.
out on LinkedIn Live, you'll be able to, and then
Okay.
I can put your answers on the screen, so for
Okay.
everybody to see when you do that.
I have to do
Dr.
There
D,
was,
go
uh,
ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. There was one other thing, and this is something that's very important. Whether you're going to a conference or a pitch, meet intro with the customer, make sure your use cases or and your services you're talking about are relatable. I'll give you an example. I met with an agency, with one of a customer, a client of mine, and we were talking with the agency. The agency was not interested in their technology. I'm familiar with the agency and their line of business. I was able to give them some examples of how they can use the technology, and the agency was ready to pretty much try to see if there was a possibility for, easier, for example, sole source opportunity for that
Yes.
small business. So you just want to make sure that you're talking their language, and you can just go and do the research. As someone said before, um, go and look at what other companies are doing their language, because you want to speak their language. I noticed a lot of commercial customers that I have, commercial clients that I have, they don't talk the government's language, and sometimes that can make you lose out on opportunities. So you want to go find out their acronyms, what are their priorities, are there any ongoing issues, and you want to talk to those causes and those concerns in your meeting with them.
Yes, yes. Hey, and those of you who are, thank you, that is powerful. Those of you who are just joining us this evening, we're joined by Coach Sean Austin. We got Dr. Travis Davis. We got advisor Shenell, and we've got mentor Linda Gray, who is on LinkedIn audio with me. I'm on both sides. We're running live on LinkedIn Live, Facebook, and YouTube. I don't know where it's going on YouTube, but I'll figure that out later. But it's somewhere on YouTube, probably under one of my accounts. But if you are joining us, let's network. Let's invite others to the conversation. If you've got a question, we are at 7:48. If you've got a question, I want to focus the question on, how can we posture ourselves for this great opportunity, this season of time where the entire federal government is focused on giving more opportunities to minority women and veteran and disabled LGBTQ companies, LTB, LGBT Q plus. I'm sorry, I wanted to get it right. It was going too fast there. Opportunities. Although the government doesn't have a set aside for LGBTQ, there are corporate partners that do business with the government that do have LGBTQ goals and set asides. And if you don't know about Disability In, that's spelled disability, no space, with a capital I in, has a certification for companies that are LGBTQ plus, and is, thank you for that, Carmen, and is recognized by many corporate companies that have those goals. So that's another certification if it's applicable. And Disability In, I just found out about them maybe a year ago, is a great certification to get as well, because they certify minority, veteran women, all of those, and they have great corporate outreach. So it's just another door, another possibility, and another certification. So hey, Dr. D, you have a great way of connecting with companies that are already existing in the federal government. Would you like to share some of that? And then I'm going to come to you, Ardell. I see you on the stage. If anybody wants to come to the stage to ask a question or to contribute, please do that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. D.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, a lot of my business comes with building relationship with other companies who are already performing in this space, and I really just focus on how I could be a value add to them. It's kind of like a mentor to me. I don't believe that you should pay for mentors. I believe you should work for mentors, and then they'll pour into you. So I do the exact same thing with these businesses by strategically looking at where they're going. And I can see where they're going if I just looked at what they've been winning and who they've been winning and what. And now, I like to have two of every certification under my tool belt. So, two women owned businesses, two veteran owned businesses, two HUBZONE businesses. So, what happens is when I get in front of the customer who has the money, the government, and they inform me of what their problems are, I already know what I have resources on how to help them. So now I become an arm to these businesses that they can't access things without me. So, for instance, my women owned businesses, I'm looking for opportunities that they can't access. They need me in order to get it done. Same thing with HUBZone or white owned businesses, too, right? They need us as minorities to partner with. So if I can strategically bring them work, to me, there's only two ways that you could help these businesses, help people, period. You're either going to help them make more money, or you're going to speed up their processes, which is going to help them make more money. Any other approach, I honestly don't know what people are talking about. So if you do your research and homework, you can figure out how to bring one of those two strategic approaches to those businesses, and they'll have no choice but to partner with you. You're a speedboat. All small businesses are a speedboat. What I mean by that is if a business calls you or the government calls you and they need a decision made, you can make it before you hang up the phone. If they call Lockheed Martin or Booz Allen or Northrop Grumman, I mean, it may be a month before the decision gets made. And
True.
a lot of times they don't have time for that. So these are ways that, again, do your homework first. The one part that people don't want to do with government contracting is the research. They just want to jump in here and make money. But if you do your homework and your research, you now know how to approach individuals, and you don't look like you're begging when you go sit in front of the table with them. Instead, you're coming with logic and education, and most people are willing to listen to that. And I'll park my Tesla.
So good points. So I want to kind of narrow the conversation even more, to ask, when we're talking, I want to give them tangible things to do. We've been talking very wide. We've been talking about what to do, but we haven't talked about, when we're talking about engaging people, what should they be doing? I'm going to give you a minute to think about that. I'm going to come back to you because we have 1, 2, 3 people on stage. If you're listening via Facebook, LinkedIn Live, I do want to encourage you to put your question in the chat. Introduce yourself and your business, what you're looking to do, so that people reading the chat, I'll put it on the screen. If you look on the screen now, it says Nia is in public health consulting. This is free. This is free advertising, folks. So, come on with it. You just never know when a contact or an opportunity is going to happen. For those of you who are on the audio side, I think you can also jump on the LinkedIn Live side and do that as well. You said you're not sure how to interact, speak live. No, you can't speak during live. You have to type on LinkedIn Live. but you can't speak, but you can speak on LinkedIn audio. I see you, Adele, on LinkedIn audio. You can unmute yourself. It's the unmute button on the right corner of your iPad or your phone. Can you do that?
Yeah, Michelle.
There you are.
Michelle. Oh no, that's me. This is Mama You.
Hey, lady.
Hey, I just wanted to kind of emphasize what happened at that table when that person slid their try to slide their capability statement over.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to tell you that I'm going to share what works.
Please.
As long as I started in government contracting in 2008. Okay. And I've met a lot of people. I have never, not even one time, given anybody or tried to give anybody a capability statement or sent anybody a capability statement without asking, may I send you a one-page capability statement?
Mm-hmm. Good point.
And in that whole time of all the people, all the venues that I've been to, I had one person to say, no, don't send it to me, send it to, excellent. And they gave me that person's contact information.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Powerful.
So you're hitting the right point. Then you talk about relationships, building relationships. You can't build a relationship in 5 minutes.
Hey, Mama You, Mama You, you know what I asked the ladies? Did you give it up on the first date? Don't answer that question. And I tell them the government does not give it up on the first. The government does not give it up on the first date. I'm just letting you know. They don't. It's very rare.
Right. It does. It takes time. But when you build that relationship and see that when people tell you, oh, you can do this and you can do that, ask them what are their long-term relationships?
Uh-huh.
Is it just hit it and quit it, or are they still there?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I had I was stuck in a traffic accident, and I was going to meet the person that was going to talk to me about small business contracting. And I had a half an hour. They had each person was given a half an hour. You arranged it in advance. And when I got there, you know how much time I had?
How much?
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I had to leave my bags with the guy at the front desk. I went to the person. I explained what happened. And I said, I only have 5 minutes, but I wanted you to know that I'm a show up type of woman. So even though I was in a traffic situation, I came here to let you know I was here. And that relationship with that agency has been since 2013.
Wow.
And I'm still doing business there.
Wow.
So the things that you're bringing up tonight, I want them to listen and trust me. If I tell you something, I have evidence. You know what I say, trust but verify.
Yes.
Verify.
Yes. So I'm hearing that somebody. I'm hearing somebody wants to know the information, the LinkedIn Connect information for the panelists. I'm gonna come back to the rest of the folks that are on the panel, that are on the stage on LinkedIn audio, but I want to ask the panel members to share their LinkedIn information. I don't know why y'all can't type in the chat publicly, and it's not allowing me to copy it over. I was trying to copy it over, but I'll figure that out. We starting ugly. We're going to get prettier and prettier. So go ahead, Linda, if you would share your information, and then we'll go around the panel, and then we'll come back to Ardell and Nicholas for some more great information. Tremendous insight, Mama You, and as usual, thank you. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Shenell.
Okay, thank you. Right, the best way to contact me is through Linda, Linda dot Gray, Gray, at score volunteer.org. Quickest, fastest way. But I want to share my business, consulting business website, and that is corporateconnections.info. That is corporate connections all together .info.
Beautiful. And Linda Gray, you can find her on LinkedIn as well as the information she just shared. She was the one that talked about the concept of connecting with corporations as a nonprofit, to allow them to use your efforts to help and serve the community as part of their social responsibility program. So thank you so much. I hope you'll reach out to Linda Gray. Go ahead, Shenell.
Yes. I just wanted to give 2 more tips for new businesses to make sure you develop target customers and do your research when you're doing that, because I get clients that they want to bid on everything. In my opinion, that's not a good strategy for a new business. Most of the time, you don't have the resources or the time to just keep submitting, blind bids. So I would say, find out what agencies are buying your product. You can find out these things on USA Spending, SAM.gov. And then also, if there's a larger company or another business that's been awarded, I'd say reach out to them, because most of the time they may have some type of contract opportunities. If not then, but maybe you can do a future bid with them. And then also, make sure your capability statement is not too long in your pitch decks. I've met with companies and I've worked with companies that have 30-page pitch decks. Please do not do that with government customers. Try to limit your pitch decks if you're going to do an intro, and then also make sure your capability statements are concise. My name is Shenell Glover, Shenell, last name Glover, Glov, as in Victor, ER. You can contact me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, but then I also have my website. I have a consulting firm. I do advisory and then also some services for government customers, Ambitious Strategies. And my website is Ambitious Strategies with 2 S in the middle.com. You can reach me on LinkedIn or via my website. There's a contact button.
Awesome. And so what kind of specific services do you offer?
So I offer business development, capture. Lately, I've been working with a lot of tech firms that are trying to get into government services. I recently stepped down from a director position of business development and capture with a Silicon Valley company. So I help companies to develop the target agencies. I do analysis on how the government is spending, because sometimes they do spend more in certain codes or on particular schedules. So I do spend analysis, competitive analysis, because your competitors in the government and commercial sector may differ. Also, I help with proposal strategy, writing white papers, use cases for customers. And then for federal, I provide federal or state, local governments, I provide grants management, management consulting, financial audit, and compliance services.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow, girl. Wow.
Thank
Okay.
you. And if there are any tech companies on, I have lots of experience in blockchain and AI, and I have other customers who are looking for partners. So
Okay,
please connect.
You heard it right here. Can you go to the LinkedIn Live and see if you can put that in the chat?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Hey, Coach, come on, Coach. I know you got long list of services that you are offering, and would love to hear more as well.
Yeah, we got a pretty decent list. Actually, one of my clients is a few of the clients. Shout out to all the Bank Ready folks that are here chiming in with us. I like what she mentioned about the pitch deck. We actually build those. So we build pitch decks, the entire business development plan. We don't just call them business plans. So you'll get your 40, 50 page business development plan. You'll get your 5 year projection model, which is very good to have for the banking side of it. If you're looking for funding, which they all are,
Mm-hmm.
that 10 to 13 page pitch deck is what we do. We've got a little AI model that helps us build that out. It's not the old school Wall Street look, but it does have a nice color code to it, depending on what your brands are. So we help with brand coloring within that pitch deck, so it's presentable, especially if you're going to be meeting with these procurement directors face to face, doing your own lunch and learns, etc. You can pop it up on your iPad or your laptop, scroll through it, and make you look extremely professional. We do help you with that one page pitch, not pitch deck, capability statement. So all of you guys that are needing capability statements, which you do, we do those within our bank ready packages as well. We do a lot of not just consulting, but really streamline your um, business strategy going into these meetings. I had a client, Mason's here. He flew from California to Houston and landed himself a contract with Houston Independent School District with one of his sanitizing spray formulas. So came to Houston, got a contract, went back to California with our
Okay.
bank ready system. Yeah, so he did great with that. We got a lot of contractors, women-owned contracting firms that we have here. So I walk you in the door, especially if you come to Houston, book a flight, and I'll walk you through and I help you hands-on talk to these procurement directors, talk to these program managers, so you can see how that relationship is built. And he had probably two conversations with one. The lady pulled him aside and said, "Hey, can you come to this meeting that we're having later on today?" And those things happen at these procurement forums. There'll be one big meeting, and they'll have the smaller meetings at another hotel or at a venue, and
Mhm.
that's how that went.
You keep talking about these procurement forums, but
Uh-huh.
who is that? Uh, that's at the city level, the state level.
City, state level, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and who's in the room?
You'll have prime contracting companies, so all your big primes are there.
Gotcha.
So let's just give you the picture. City of Houston, state of Texas, you'll have nationally ranked national firms from HCA, who builds hospitals, labs. You'll
Mhm.
have DKR Construction, Vaughn Construction, Austin Commercial, all these big construction firms that are building in the city of Houston and abroad. So you've got the Houston Medical Center expansion, you've got all the freeways, overpass, football fields, all the UT, A&M, U of H, Rice, all these campuses. There's massive expansions and construction going on at the same time. So what they're there to talk about, you've got NASA, Port of Houston, Metro, all these organizations come together at one time. Capital One, Chase, Truist Bank, CDFIs. There's so much going on, but this is a massive all procurement and purchasing in the city and the state is in one building at one time.
Wow.
It's beautiful, and it's
Wow.
it's like a little bit of federal mix, federal city mix, and all that. And they have all the certifications that you want, what they need, who they need, what they don't, what
Mm-hmm.
grandfather's over. So you just
Mm-hmm.
sit back and watch. Where's the money? What do
Mm-hmm.
I do, and where do I fit?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I tell
And
people
I
that's
think that's right there. I want to repeat that. What
mhm.
do I do and where do I fit? I'm going to say that again. What do I do and where do I fit is key when you're doing these engagements, when you're going to these things, because just because somebody's having something doesn't mean you fit and that, they've got the money or the opportunity. So I just wanted to foot stomp that. Go ahead, and then I'm going to roll to Dr. D, and then
Yeah,
I've got two more people on stage.
yeah. So I'll make it real quick. So um, when you're looking at procurement, like I said earlier, it's the gateway to contracting. You build your relationship, and what they've said, and listen to me very clearly. I've seen more contracts given, and what they say is, I watch who comes into the room. They all
Mm,
watch who comes in. They are watching you. So when
mm,
you go around the tables and you introduce yourself, make sure they remember who you are, get their names. How's the kids? How's this? How's everything?
mhm,
How's this
mhm,
working for you? How often do
mhm,
you come? Who else is coming for the, whatever, right? So if it's Metro, hey, are you gonna be here next month? Because they tell you who's coming. They tell you what are the dates they're coming by. And the more often you show up, oh yeah, I remember you from last time. How's it going? Take them to lunch, something. And the people that show up, they recognize them. Oh yeah, we gave them a contract because they're always here. And we know we can trust them and rely on them to do X, Y, and Z. They took us out to their office. We saw what they did every day. And that know, like, and trust factor is in real time. And it can happen for anybody, quite frankly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So for what we do at Bank Ready is we help you make sure you got the paperwork and the credentials to put you in a position to get these things done. And we've been doing this for a while now. So I love to work with anybody. And we can do this thing together. Because what I can't do, I guarantee you the system below me can do, and vice versa. And Dr. D, I work with him very closely for what he does with his clients. So it's a nice immersive event here. So thank you, Gi.
No, awesome. And it's gonna grow. I'm feeling it. It's gonna get better and better, as they say. So I'm gonna take a question. I can't ask Nicholas a question because Nicholas asks paragraphs of questions. So I'm gonna let Aaliyah go, and then I'm gonna come to Nicholas. Then I'm coming back to Mr. Nicholas. I'm just giving you a hard time, Nicholas. Much love, brother. Good to see you. Aaliyah, what you got? You can unmute by hitting that button on the far bottom corner of your iPad or oh, she went back off the stage. Okay. Aaliyah, you didn't mean to come up? That was an accident? Okay. Oh, you're coming back. Okay. Let's try. There you are.
Hi, Miss Michelle.
How are you? There you are. What's up, girl?
How you doing, everyone? Again, I want to thank you guys for doing this. It's amazing. It really has inspired me to get back in the game and do my thing. I didn't see. So I'm listening from I guess a different platform on because I can't see the video. I can just see the audio.
Right, you're on LinkedIn Audio. So you're on LinkedIn Audio. And hold that thought for a minute. Adele, can you come back to LinkedIn Audio, or you can join both, I think, as I understand, because you were on the stage, then you left. So if you come back to the LinkedIn Audio, you'll be able to speak. You're on your laptop. So if you come back, you're not on your phone. Join on your phone. I don't know about how LinkedIn Audio works on. I think you can do it on your computer, but I'm not. I've not used it. I'm an iPad gal. So if you can, try to join back on your the way you were before. You were on stage before, and then you left. So I don't know what happened. But if not, you can type your question in the chat. I'm happy to answer it, and I'll get back to somebody else had a networking question. I'm going to put it on the screen, and maybe Dr. D or someone else can answer. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Aaliyah. I wanted to make sure I addressed Adele trying to speak.
No problem. I came up on the stage. I didn't have it's more about when you had someone speaking before. I think her name was Shenell Glover. I can't see her on the platform. I can only see certain people. The way I'm looking at it, it's looking like you're talking. So
that's
all
correct.
Of her information, who she is, I couldn't get to it.
Got it. Yes, because you can see her on the LinkedIn Live side, but not on the LinkedIn Audio side. So this is something new. I'm trying to do LinkedIn Audio because that way people don't have to be on camera and they can just listen like radio. And then LinkedIn Live is will be maintained and you'll be able to hear it again. When you're in LinkedIn Audio, once you hear it, it's gone. Once that closes, there's no replay, no anything.
Okay.
Whereas on
How
LinkedIn,
do I get to LinkedIn Live?
Are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I'm on my phone now. So
if you go on your phone and you go to my profile, there should be something that's saying Michelle Gardner-Ince. Do you follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
It should say that I'm live.
I see you.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can go there and then you can see Shenell, but it's Shenell Glover, and you can connect with her on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much.
No, thank
Another
you.
question
Yes, ma'am.
Another question I wanted to ask. I'm in the DC area and wanted to know, are there any resources? In the past, I've done, the different programs where they, help you go through your business plan and everything like that, but none of them help you with, creating your capability statement or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So once you got out of the business plan arena, it was kind of like you're on your own. Mm-hmm. Are there any resources in this area that I can
are you in DC or are you in the DMV? DC, Maryland, Virginia.
I'm in Rockville, but I'm.
Oh, okay, that's good. So there's a PTAC. Yeah. There's a PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center. That is a free resource, but at the same token, you've got Coach Sean here, you've got Shenell here, you've got Linda here, you've got Dr. Davis. All these folks have resources. I don't get into what they're paid, how much it is. I don't know, don't want to know, because I'm more interested in their generosity of sharing the information. But I would encourage you to reach out to them and maybe, talk to them and see what that is, as well as to pursue the PTAC option. So it's procurement.
Would it be okay?
Would it be okay?
Yes.
What?
Would it be okay? This is Linda. Great.
Yeah.
Would it be okay to add, Aaliyah?
Yes,
said
ma'am.
You're in the DC area, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, just for point of reference, contact the DC SBDC Center.
Perfect.
That's the DC Small Business Development Center. And the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because whenever we contact our local agencies, SBA resource partners, it really helped us to define through those organizations areas for opportunities to do business with your business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And one other quick question that I'd like to ask you, because I'm looking here and I think you're in the corporate health and
yes,
wellness.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Solutionist? Right.
Yes.
All right. I don't know what your business is, but for any organizations, to include nonprofit organizations as well as for-profit businesses that provide anything in the healthcare arena,
mm-hmm.
It is great opportunities to get access to government grants, not on a bid, contract space, actually applying directly to the National Institute of Health and also to your local state federal office from the local federal level, opportunities for CARE Act dollars as a part of the executive order of 13985. So I wanted to share that.
Absolutely. That's powerful.
Yes.
Thank you, Linda. I just followed you, so I'll send you a message.
And those.
Hold on. We got some more. Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, those grants that Ms. Linda is speaking about. When you reach out to your local state, city, county, make sure you ask if they have any grants that are earmarked for small businesses, because they do have those still from the pandemic. A lot of them still have funding from the pandemic. For example, I'm in California. I worked on the county funds, and they had $20,000 to $60,000 grants that went to any business that applied. So you reach out and you ask about the funds that are earmarked for small businesses, and some of them may consider the grants as block grants. So you just want to make sure you're using the right language as well, because if they have lots of CARE Act funding, so ask them what's earmarked for small businesses, minority businesses, whichever categories you fall under, and then any community block grants. Because in addition to the pandemic, all congressional leaders and state, city, and county level officials, they receive funding in the form of block grants, and they can give it at their discretion most of the time.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. So
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna tell y'all are getting master class. I saw somebody said we need government contracting for minorities. I agree. Stand by. We're trying to get something together because I do believe that we need a space where people can feel and be vulnerable and understand that people who are attempting to help them understand them and speak their language, because it is a different language, right? And even if it's an unspoken language, it's a different language. So, hey, Nicholas, how many questions you got?
Really only about 2.
Look, that 2 really mean with 2 sub questions under each one. Come on.
GI.
No.
Before Nicholas.
Hold on, Nicholas. What were you gonna say, Shenell?
Yeah, I just want to address Victoria's comment. That's something that I'm still working on, and it's something that the federal government, I hope that they address soon. Besides making programs for minorities, they need to make programs for Black businesses, because when you have minority programs, I've witnessed this external and external. Sometimes Black businesses, they either get excluded or they do not receive the same customer service. And I spoke with the company and even someone who's on the call now, where when they reach out to some of these technical assistance centers, they're like getting general information and not the same care as everyone else. So
wow.
Whoever on the platform that has, any access, I think that we should start talking about having technical assistance services that are just for Black businesses is important. I'm out here in LA. They just had a recent incident in the city council, and now they're investigating whether policies have impacted the people and the businesses, because people don't go to work and turn off racism
I said that too.
or not being uncomfortable with certain populations. So we really need to talk about, having services for Black businesses.
Okay, guess what? We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. Go ahead, Coach. I see Dr. D had to leave us, but you hold down the fort for him.
Oh yeah. He's actually in some of my classes. We started a curriculum. My next class is October 25th, and we speak just on that, how to navigate it. It's on Zoom with all of us. So I'm trying to run that class up through to where you can see how we do it. What's just spoken about, the Small Business Development Center, the contract that we got from Prairie View was with that same organization. So the same thing I'm doing as a Black male in that space for the last 12 years, we teach that. I have my attorney on, I have my accountant on. Captain Reese with the Air Force, Black gentleman, he does small business procurement for the Air Force. He's on a larger sector now, but he comes in and gives the advice that he can privately give to our group. So we've got a Black coalition, if you will, and I'm giving you the secret sauce. So that class is on Zoom, and I'm starting to try to have it every other month, and the next one is October 25th. But so to that point,
how long does it last? How long does the class last?
Take a nap, 4 hours at least. Yeah, you gotta take. Yeah, my classes last. I got some. I mean, it starts at 7 Central, but I'll tell people, if you're gonna take a class of mine, and those of you who in the comments may know, but it starts at 7, and my classes are at least 3.5, 4 hours, because there's a lot to give. You'll leave with a bunch of PDFs and PowerPoints that you can go print out and knock out. So I have a long class, but it's steps you can take. So if I'm not there, you hear me in your ear. And you've got action steps to go out and do some things with. And we need that. And I'm like, you know what? Nobody else is doing this. So let me be a bridge. Let my team be a bridge to those agencies. So when you're in front of those procurement directors looking for those contracts, it makes it easier. cut down the fluff. Let's just get right to it. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
that's great. That's great to
Can we
hear.
get? Can we hold? We're gonna circle back. Let's do a meeting or whatever between us, and then we can even have a session just on that. But Nicholas has been patiently waiting. Passionate panel members.
let's go.
And I want to let Nicholas Walker ask his questions. Go ahead, Nicholas. Thank you so much for being so kind and patient.
Hey. Hello to the host, Miss GI.
Hey.
Hello to the rest of the room. Miss Linda, how you doing? You actually answered a lot of my questions, Miss Linda, because I remembered you from the last panel, and you were talking about ARPA, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to do a little deep dive on that, but I wanted to ask Miss GI and I think Shenell KG. I think you guys were dialoguing on the last session about the Native American.
Yes.
What is it?
Source
set aside, I believe.
Source set aside. The program that never ends. That has no legacy.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't have a legacy restriction, and it does not have any. You don't have to. You can leave the program, but you're not forced to leave the program. I'll put it that way.
Okay, so it's sort of like an 8A for them.
Yeah. Yes, but without a 10-year limitation.
Yeah. And then higher sole source authority for the contracts. So they can receive, in DOD, they can receive a contract, I think is up to 100 million sole source.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I have a partner, he's Native, and he's trying to get his contracting business up and running. So he was, just looking for some information.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I really want to know.
That's it? You okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Oh, okay. I'm just messing with you, man. No, you got about 5 or 6 questions. So we can jump back to the conversation that Coach and Shenell were having. And Miss Linda, feel free to unmute and just jump in if you like about, the need for minority focused efforts in government contracting, education, and engagement. I'll let y'all do the education, but the networking piece needs to be a whole 2 hours at least. From how do you set yourself up online to how do you then engage government clients. I had a lady, I don't think she's on, but even if she listens, only person gonna know I'm talking to. She's the only person who's gonna know I'm talking about her. I'm not gonna say no names, but anyway, I met her 2 or 3 weeks ago, a month and a half ago, at a conference. I told her, let's engage. I'll sit with you. I don't do one-on-ones because I don't have the bandwidth, right? If I do a one-on-one with you, it's a rare thing. Just because what I can give you in 1 hour, you can go make thousands of dollars off of in strategy, and nobody's paying me for that. So I keep my one-on-ones it's a very rare thing. So when I do meet with companies, I'll generally give them an hour. And I told them, do you know an hour with a government person is a rare thing. You might get 15 minutes, you might get 30, but you're not getting an hour. You're just not. So I told her, I said, hey, I'll give you an hour, blah, blah, blah. She has tried to invite me to some play with tickets. She has tried to invite me to lunch. She has tried to invite me to dinner. And I have said no, 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 and no. Oh, well, it's the tickets were free. I don't care if it's worth $1. I know the limit is 25. I don't care but for people like me, that I now want to do this, right? I now want to keep that person at a distance because it's called being environmentally aware and understanding, picking up clues about how much space a government person needs. Some people, oh yeah, I'll come to your house. That's their business. I'm not saying, but that's not what I want to do, right? So just being, how do you teach people to be environmentally, socially aware, to understand people, to pick up signals, and to not be so bent on, I got to get my message through, or I got to talk to you, that you step on toes and then end up breaking a relationship that could have been a good relationship if you took it slow. And I always put it in, female terms. Nobody likes a thirsty woman. Nobody wants a woman who's trying to push herself on a man, right? And I know that might be explicit, but you get the concept. Be careful. Watch. Let them client lead. If they don't want you to be that close, don't try to be that close. And so that's a session that I know needs to be taught from the government standpoint, because everybody says, "Oh, engage, get in there." Yes, but there's a way, and it's a little bit of a dance, because they may do this and you move just far enough without. What did that in the movie in Hitch? He said when he's teaching the people, the guy to kiss, he said, you lean in like I'm intending to kiss you, but you don't go all the way in. You let her meet you halfway. And I think that is a great analogy when it comes to, building close relationships with government buyers. So anyway, I'm going to get back to, I said my piece about how important I think the networking, the relationship building, and the engagement piece is. Now I want you guys to go ahead, and we're going to wrap up. It's 8:31. So when you guys finish your conversation, we're going to close it up. And I'll see if we're going to do the after show on wisdom, if you want to join there. Go ahead.
Sister, you can go first if you like. Ladies first.
Oh, okay. Yes. It's great what you're doing, by having people that can relate and had a conversation about how to work with the government customers. I've been trying to make sure I attend all the government sponsored conversations around equity as well. I would encourage everyone else to do it, because something that I know from my experience in government is that we can do all these things for industry and minority businesses, Black businesses, but if people internally, and like we need to voice our concerns about this, people internally have been working on these programs, and that's why the disparities are there. So we need to have people to represent us as well, and not only just like placeholders and put in positions, but they need to have full authority and be able to make sure that it's fairness in the programs. So besides our coaching and all these different technical assistance centers and resources, we need to make sure that we are voicing our concerns, and the numbers speak for itself, that this is an issue and we can work together to resolve it, but not to be silent about it, because I don't think that's helping us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. One thing I've noticed that helps with that, and it's almost like a silent killer, if you will. More of us do need to be in those rooms, attempting to get any type of relationship going. And yes, don't act thirsty. And we need to be honest with that. There's no need to be acting thirsty, because there's a stage, and we do it with our bank ready clients, kind of like a Shark Tank type of deal, to where I'll show them how to just speak, how to get your point across, how to start dating that contractor. Listen for the opportunity, see who's got what budget, listen to what they're talking about, and you'll see the big project. And then when you go to the tables and you talk to them, you don't have to automatically say, this is what I do. Ask them about themselves. Yep. How are you doing? How long have you been in this position? Will you be in this position long term? Are you here often? Is there a way we can contact offline to where I can maybe do it? One of the IT directors for a construction firm said one thing in particular that sticks with me to this day. She says, you can give me all the paperwork you want, but I want to see you in real time. And if you give me a sandwich and a drink, you got 30 minutes. Unadulterated. I'm eating and I'm listening. She said, I will block everything out. Give me a sandwich and a drink. And I will listen to you, and I will remember you. and I will show you where you need to go. And what we notice, and what I've noticed, and this is a very big gem that we don't get, and I'm gonna just lay it out here right now. When you get to them, invite them to your office or whatever you have, get a conference room. Yes, you can invite the primes down to meet you. They actually like that. Okay. And if you don't have an office like that, invite yourself there, schedule a meeting with someone there and have a conversation of how can I fit? And I think you said earlier, sister, there's a problem that they have. How do you solve that problem? Hey, I've noticed this. I don't know if you've noticed this. Da, 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 da. This is what we do. I can see us helping you become more profitable and efficient here. Do you have that there? If we have more black and brown businesses having those conversations, it inorganically, indirectly, but directly puts us in positions to start affecting these policies. Because they'll tell you we got a 30% this, 40% that, but their excuse, and rightfully so, they'll say, I don't see enough of you guys here to even affect policy. So you can bark about policy all day long, but if you're not in the room taking advantage of what's there already, to them be at the table to make those decisions, I can't blame them for doing what they're doing. So
Yeah.
we can engage that way and
Mhm.
court and date and learn how to dance with these people, right? And then you get around the ones that are advantageous to you. That's your shoe in the door. And
Yes.
it's worked for me. It's worked for a lot of us. It's very, and you can tell the ones that really don't want to rock with you. But at the end of the day, there's a compliance department that they all have. And if you can find who that person is to make sure that they stamp your contract or your opportunity, that's your win. The diversity and equity piece that's happening with these firms, deal with the ones that are more diversity inclined than those that aren't. There's
Yes.
enough money and opportunities out here. You know, such you keep saying, that's it. That's our key in. And if we have more of capacity, and I land here in that realm, that's where the money happens. You don't need the $1 trillion contracts because all you need is one. You keep building. You keep building. Even the guy that said I wanted an 8A, you don't have to jump into 8A right now. That's your legacy move. There's enough projects out here in the logistics and transportation. Don't shoot your big shot yet. Build your capacity to where when you do go 8A, then you're better off. So that would be my piece for it. And that's what we do.
I agree. Before we wrap up here, I would like the folks that are on LinkedIn Live, if you could say one thing that you learned that's of value. What are you going to do next? Before next week's session. And if anybody who is on LinkedIn audio wants to either join on the LinkedIn Live and put your comments in the chat, or if you want to come to the stage, do that now. We're at 8:37. We're going to wrap up here in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to ask Miss Linda to give some last words. Mama Miss Corliss, Duema, to give some last words, and then I'm going to come to you, Shenell, and Coach, and then we're going to close it out. Please keep your comments to about 3 minutes max.
Yes, good. Yeah, let me wrap up 1 minute closing, and I want to piggyback. Well, first of all, on Coach.
Okay.
Definitely being able to provide that technical assistance piece. That's important. And then the last wrap up is that I want to go back around to the nonprofit organization, which nonprofit organizations are businesses too. They are. They have to be profitable businesses as well. So I want to encourage us again to take a look, for-profit businesses collaborating with nonprofit businesses to be able to get grants. And so one example, I am a consultant with a nonprofit organization here in the state of Texas. And we worked and provided and proposed and submitted a $500,000 grant to the COVID-19 health project that's all over the United States. Every state have these funds left over from CARE Act dollars. And so we were awarded a little less than $500,000. But what that did was help us leverage that federal grant that we were able to actually get pharmacists,
Wow.
nurses,
Wow.
and we were able to offer them some consulting fees. And I'm telling you, it's going so well. We're about to wrap up the first year. It'll be wrapped up in May. That we were offered a smaller one, and that was awarded 2 weeks ago. So what I'm encouraging is that we have to leverage all of the existing federal programs that have always been here, mm-hmm. that are already dollars on the table, to definitely be able to access the new dollars from the American Rescue Recovery executive order. Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to encourage. And with that, thanks for the opportunity. Michelle, G.I. I think they're calling you G.I.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's a first name, last name, noun, adjective, a verb. And most of y'all probably wouldn't know a cuss word when you used to work for me in the Air Force.
That's a good one. So thank you. And
no, thank you so very much. Mama, you, come on, lady. Thank you, Miss Linda.
Yeah. Yeah, what I wanted to say is to those that are starting, growing, building your business, please take notes. There's a lot of great information that has been passed out. One thing I did want to say was about the business plan. Uh-huh. And I'm an old school person. So, I mean, most of you that know me, you already know this. When you're thinking about your business plan, you may need to get someone to help you or assist you or what have you. But I'm challenging each of you, if you have not done so, go to sba.gov, mm-hmm. look for the samples of the business plan, and just sit down and go through it. I have a background as a contractor, but I also have 33 years as a federal employee. I was a contracting officer, and I was a small business relations person. So I've been working with small businesses for years and years. But sit down and do that, because it's going to do something for you that no one else can do. It's going to help you to focus on what do you need to do to make money. And that's what it's all about. I mean, everybody here is that's the game plan. Hear that cash register. What do you do? How do you distinguish yourself? How do you distinguish yourself from someone else? How do you get people to come and knock on your door? Mm-hmm. How do you get them to stay with you? How do you get them to award you contracts? When you have your business plan, when you think through it, you go through the whole, your mission, where you're going to be located, how are you going to sell, everything in that vein. So please just take a stab at it and see what you can do. Michelle, again, I'm so proud of you. But all that you do, and I did try to call you because I wanted you to introduce that 4-star general, Air Force. Okay, so let me know if you're going to be available.
And what day is this?
Next Thursday. This is General Spencer.
I know that's
he's from.
That's my mentor. That's my mentor.
See, hello.
Okay.
You know how you put me in the house. Hello, come on now.
Yes, ma'am. I'll call you.
Okay.
Thank you. Adele, I think I brought you on stage because your persistence alone. You didn't come on the audio side. You'd have been on the LinkedIn side. Now you done creeped in backstage. I'm like, let me just let this man in, because he is not going to quit. And that is a great quality for a government contractor. So What can we help you with? We overtime
Well,
now. We are overtime. I'm just letting you know.
okay, I'm gonna be brief. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, yes. My name is Ardale Allen. I'm a 34-year government services veteran with local businesses here at City of Tampa, where I've been employed. And I've had conversations lately with businesses wanting to do government contracting at a federal level. And I was wanting to know how y'all get down, basically, and how to connect so I can bring over my people like Harriet Tubman. Just keeping it real.
well, if we is that your question? Because you've been asking a whole lot of questions in the
Yeah.
chat, but that's homework. The questions you're asking in the chat are homework. There's one answer. No, I'm not gonna say that. If you want it,
I think she froze on us, huh?
Yeah, yo, I thought it was just me.
Yeah,
She said
yeah.
if you want it.
Yeah, I think you froze on us, sis. All the energy you was coming with that answer on.
bud, I lost for a minute.
There you go.
Okay, I'm back. But but they will all do it for you for a price.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no checklist. There's no one size fit all. There's no, you got to go get it. You got to do the homework. You got to go find all those questions you're asking about. Where can I find this work? Where can I find that USA spending? SAMS.gov. All of those things, you have to go get it. You got to go fish. We're not doing fish dinners here. You got to go fish.
Reach out to your local PTAC as well.
Yeah. But even they're going to give you homework. I want to level the playing field. So even if you go to SCORE, even if you go to Small Business Development Center, even if you go to the PTACs, they're all going to give you homework, which will require you to do the work.
I love the work.
Even we give homework, honestly. Even if you're paying us, we still give you homework.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for leveling the expectation. Because we have to do this with the community, Adele. I'm not really talking, when I say you, I don't mean you, right? I mean you, everyone who wants to be part of this community have to realize that, the federal government is the largest buyer of services and products in the world, but they are not giving away anything. You are awarded. I'm going to repost that. I did a thing a couple of years ago saying, somebody came to me and said, help me, give me a contract. VA needs to give me a contract. I said, there are no gimmies. You are awarded. You win that. And when you win, there means there's effort behind the win, right? So I just want to kind of break the, I think, with all this money, a lot more people are coming, but they don't realize you got to do the work. And if you don't want to do the work, it's okay. You can go work for a government contractor, learn that way and be paid, and then jump out. There's different ways. You don't have to do that way you can see it from the inside and understand it better while still generating revenue. Does that make sense?
Oh, makes sense in dollars.
Yeah. So, other questions, but come back every week. It's new, it's different. We we're kind of like the breakfast club of government contracting. We just go with the flow. There's so much richness in each of these individuals, and I love the new perspective that Linda and Shenell brought, and even with Coach Sean and Dr. Davis, they each have a different perspective. I would love for more government folks to feel freer, I'm going to put it that way, to share their intellectual capital. I'm not talking about anything that's not on the internet, right? I mean, I don't have any contracts. I haven't looked at any contracts. I'm not on any technical evaluation team, so I don't have any secrets. but I do have strategy. And I do have insight. And I believe it's my mission to demystify government. That's really, I see it, and to help our community understand better how to engage. And so, with that, it's 8:49. I didn't realize LinkedIn audio kicks us off at exactly 8:30. It just kind of went away. I'm like, what is going on? So, but anyway, I'm going to close out. I want to thank you, Shenell. I hope you'll join us again. And thank Miss Linda Gray, Coach. Always, man, just keep setting the example for us. Dr. Davis, I just love. We had a great time. We were on Wisdom audio app for another hour and a half last week, and there was 135 people that were listening while we were just having this conversation about government contracting, about this initiative. So this effort. So we need to do more of that. And so I want to thank everyone in our audience on both LinkedIn Live, Facebook, as well as LinkedIn audio. Thank you for joining us. Please come back, tell somebody, and we may even try next time to just do it, even though we're on LinkedIn Live, to do it without, we just put up a picture and do it just, audio, so people don't feel like they're missing out, if they're not on the LinkedIn audio. So we'll try a couple of things. This is all about what you, Coach, and Shenell said about widening the conversation, right? And and Shenell, we need to get you and Linda into some other conversations we're having to collaborate, because I'm doing this and I'm doing that. If we do this, we will run faster and we will run better. And I believe in this, taking the best of what you do, because there'll be overlap on all of our parts. But what is the sweetest piece that each of us does? And it's going to be amazing. We're going to have a great time.
Most
So
definitely.
with that,
Thank you.
I want to thank you again. My name is Michelle Gardner-Ince. It is my delight and pleasure to spend time with you. Thank you for taking this space and for joining us on the journey, Sean, Shenell, Linda, and Dr. D. We're just beginning. And may God bless you, and may God keep us all from evil, and may he keep evil from us, and may he continue to enlarge this territory. I already see the promised land. I'm just saying. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Nice meeting you.